Hello and welcome to the DrivingMaul's Crusaders versus British and Irish Lions preview. Hi, I'm Paul, the guy behind DrivingMaul, and welcome to the show. Please do feel free to add any comments either live or afterwards on Twitter or YouTube. I'm always up for a good old rugby chat. So today we have had the two squads announced for both the Crusaders and for the Lions for Saturday. And let's be honest, the tour has not started the way that the Lions would have wanted. A bit of a flat performance against the New Zealand Provincial Barbarians for an opening game win. And then last night against the Blues, losing in their first sort of real game of the tour. I think a way that everyone kind of saw it against the first of the Super Rugby sides. And also the side that's in fifth or last in the New Zealand Conference in the Super Rugby as well. So not the kind of start they were looking for. Coming into this game against the Crusaders are unbeaten in Super Rugby so far this season, and they have been allowed to name a full strength squad. For those of you from the UK, what does that mean? Well, that means that the front five of the Crusaders in Joe Moody, Cody Taylor, Owen Franks, Luke Romano and Sam Whitelock are all Blacks. So they have a front five All Black in the pack. And then as we sort of come further out, you've also got another All Black at 7 in Matt Todd, and going further back, so Tumanavalu, for those of you who followed Wales last year, you'll have seen him play in the tests, and then obviously Israel Dag at fullback rounds out the 8 All Blacks that are in the starting 15. This is a side that has had injuries in the backs and still has managed to have wins during this tournament. So clearly it's a very strong team, even without Kieran Reid, who is injured, obviously. So it's not as strong a side as it could be, even though it has got 8 All Blacks in there. There's clearly, when you've got a front five that's strong, it's clearly a team that uses its pack to get front foot dominance and then releases the backs off that. Richie Mo'unga, a lot of people were saying he should be in the squad for the All Blacks. He has been playing extremely well, but you don't blood new or too many new caps in a Lions series or in any series, and that's just not the All Blacks way. So Mo'unga at the moment is missing out on that. Maybe with Cruden moving on at the end of the season, he'll be seeing him coming in. But he is someone who a lot of players, people expect will get an All Black cap at some point. So, and Goodhue has been brought in as injury replacement. He's the outside centre for the Crusaders. This is a very strong side. I mean, on the bench we've got Wyatt Crockett as well. So there's lots of strength there. Mitchell Hunt, who, if you watched the Super Rugby game last weekend, put in a drop goal to win the game at the end, is also coming off the bench. So this is, I've already seen some people or mates on Twitter saying this is the 4th test, and I remind them that actually the Maori All Blacks is supposed to be the unofficial 4th test, but this is as close to a kind of All Blacks side as they're going to face before the All Blacks themselves. So with that sobering news, what do the British and Irish Lions look like? Having listened and talked to a lot of people, there's a lot of thoughts that this is where we start seeing the test side come together. We're only 1 week away from so we've got this game against the Crusaders. We then have the midweek game against the Highlanders down in Dunedin before the Lions come back up to Rotorua for the game against the Maori All Blacks. And at that stage, Gatland was saying he would be looking at having most of his test side in place. So we're only a week away from having that test side, most of the test side in place, and we're only 2 weeks away from the first test. So a lot of people were thinking actually what we're going to start seeing even at this stage is some of the test starters playing the weekend games and the midweek games becoming more of the non-test starters. Also, there are still some players who haven't played on tour yet. Amazing enough. And so there will be some players in here who are getting their first start on tour. And that was also one of the things Gatland said, was that every player would get a start within the first 3 games. So Vunipola, Jamie George and Furlong up as the front row. I think a lot of people have Vunipola and Furlong as the starting props, and then George battling it out with the other props, the other hookers to see who'll get in there. Alwyn Jones and George Cruis are in the engine room. I think a lot of people have George Cruis down as a starter, and Alwyn Jones is definitely one of Gatland's favourites, and he's captaining the side this weekend, and has played something. I think I read someone saying that he's played in the last X, sort of like 6 or so, or however many Lions Test matches. So he's clearly up there. We then look at the back row: Umani, O'Brien, and Faletau. Now, Faletau obviously is the expected Test starter at 8. In 6 and 7, they're probably getting their opportunities here to stake their claim. Obviously, with Sam Warburton being the Test captain, he's expected to fill in at one of those slots. Then we come to the decision-making area, where we have Conor Murray and Farrell in the half-back positions. Murray obviously has been the expected starter at 9, but has been injured recently, so we're going to see how he comes back into form. Farrell is the form fly half, with Sexton not being at his best at the moment, so a lot of people are expecting that to be the Test half-back combination. Coming in to the rest of the backs, Ben Teo played well in the opening game, and Henderson hasn't been at his best, so Henshaw hasn't been at his best, not Henderson, Henshaw's best. So he's got a good chance here to stake his claim. Jonathan Davis has been playing well since he got selected for the tour squad and gets his first start. Then outside, then we have Liam Williams, George North, and Hogg getting another chance at fullback. So I've had quite a few tweets saying, "Hey, how close is this to a Test side, a Test starting side?" And you've got to say, potentially it is. I'm not saying it's not a definite cut and dry yet, saying this is the Test side. I don't think it is, but it's pretty close to being you could quite happily look at that side and go, bar 3 or 4 of them, that could be the starting 15 for the opening Test. I think we're a bit further away from that yet, or being able to say that yet, but you can see how things are developing in that direction. Owens, McGrath and Cole get to other front row replacements. Mario Toggi gets to stake his claim again after playing last night. CJ Stander comes in after again playing last night, along with Reece Webb, Sexton and Watson. I guess the other talking point really is that fly half position and Dan Biggar going off with the HIA. I saw a tweet saying that Gatland said he was expecting a quick recovery. That really I find scary. I don't like hearing the words quick recovery when we talk about head injuries. I think we should be looking at people coming back slowly. And personally, I think Biggar should possibly even be thinking about going home and being replaced because of that, because of how long. Because it's only a 6-week tour. We've only got 10 games. We're 2 games in. He's going to miss the next 2 doing the return to play protocols. That gets us nearly halfway through the tour already. So should he just go home anyway and get himself properly fit, rather than trying to get himself or rush himself back for what is it's a long tour, but it's a short time frame of games. That's my opinion. I think he should probably be going home, but I'm not a doctor. So this is a strong Lions side. I say it's not the Test side, but it's not far from it. Let me know your thoughts around the selections and who should or shouldn't be in there. There's a couple of players here who will be on last chance saloon, and this is their opportunity to stake their case. I think if Hogg really needs to show up after having a poor opening game in that kind of situation. Murray needs to also show he's coming back from injury okay. Liam Williams needs to show he's not going to get himself yellow carded on a regular basis as well, and figure out his actions in the air, because that was clearly a yellow card last night, whatever other people have been saying. That's in my opinion anyway. I'm really looking forward to it. Should be great. I'll be back tomorrow with my weather watch to let you know what it's going to look like down there in in Christchurch, it's definitely going to be cold, if nothing else. Please do share this with your friends so they can know what's going on. Give it the old thumbs up if you watch on YouTube. And don't forget to sign up for my newsletter, which actually will be coming out in about the next hour. Link above or down below if you're on Twitter. Thanks very much for joining me. I'll be back tomorrow with my weather watch, and I'll also be back tomorrow talking about the European Champions Cup pools that are getting drawn overnight my time. I think that'll be my Let's Talk topic for tomorrow. And don't forget also, if you're looking for rugby to watch, the Hurricanes host the Chiefs in Super Rugby tomorrow night, which should also be a cracker.